Here we're Gardening Simplified. It's June 1st. We're out here in the garden. We're going to talk about tomatoes. Now I got a couple tomato plants here. I got a Cherokee Purple and I got a Sweet 100, Super Sweet 100. But I want you to see something here. These Cherokee Purples there versus this one here. And you see how much smaller this is. Now this one here was planted some under the ground, but they're exactly the same age. This has been in the pot longer, and that's what happens. So the quicker you get your tomatoes out, the better. Now, I want you to for me, hit that thumbs up and give this video a like. That really helps my channel. But what we're going to talk about here is tomato plants. Now, I talked in an earlier video when I was doing some pruning about fasciated flowers, which are bigger than normal, and you can go back if you want to look at one. Unless I come across one, I'm not going to pick it out. But I had a tomato here. Well, I say first one of the season starting to get ripe. But you see the bottom of it starting to get kind of an infection and stuff. The bottom's all opened up. This was a tomato from a fasciated bloom. Now, all of them don't get this bad, but some do. And what I normally do is whenever I come down here, and I've been doing some pruning, getting these up a little better, I still have to do some over here, get this cleared out, but I don't want all those limbs in the way of those tomatoes. But I'll go in here, and if I see one that's bad, they had a fasciated bloom, I'll take and pull that sucker off. I don't care how big it is. Now see, this is a big tomato, but the bottom is good because it didn't have that. But you see right here, now this one isn't real bad, but you see how it's doing. That's what happens with a lot of them. Now this one here was definitely a fasciated bloom, and it's got some places, but it's not real bad. But what I want to say is that was not blossom end rot. Blossom end rot, the bottom of the tomato is usually solid, not split open, but it's got a black place or a dark place on it where it's rotting out where the blossom was. And a lot of people start telling you that that's blossom end rot, but blossom end rot and cracks and stuff from the fasciated bloom are two different things. Now for me, I'm growing a lot of Cherokee Purples, and this year they're actually producing well. It does produce pretty good, but they're really producing heavy. I've been out here more often tapping these flowers, making sure they get pollinated, and it's really paid off. I can tell the difference between a lot of these tomatoes. Now this one over here is not as green. This is the red snapper, and of course this was grown from, so it's the red snapper's that one. But you can see how well it produces from the seed. But it doesn't grow dark like a lot of other tomatoes. Now we have some others up here that are easy to spot. This here is an ox heart, and you can see it's kind of pointed. Even the bigger ones shaped like an ox heart. It's a real good paste tomato. It produces good. It's got really good flavor. It is open pollinator. I don't know that it's an heirloom, but it is an open pollinator. Now this is something different because these died. I lost the ox heart, but I decided to grow them this year. It's been a while since I've grown them, and I just want to grow some more this year. Now, I want to talk about these tomatoes. Now, you want to try to keep them in the basket. Sometimes they grow fast and they get out. If you can work them back in, that's great. But when you can't, if you buy you some of these little tomato clips, When it comes out and it's up there at the top, you can take and clip these things to the sides of your baskets and take them on. If you've got a string, that works real good for bring them up in the string. But we got a really good crop. Now it's in the mid 90s today, might be a little bit above. A lot of people say you cut these leaves off, these tomatoes are going to get sunburned. Now I haven't had that problem. They get plenty enough shade during the day at certain times, but I haven't had a problem with the ones that I have pruned the leaves off. And what it does is, instead of it putting energy to those leaves that's below those tomatoes, it puts all that energy up to those tomatoes, because you're wanting big tomatoes. And I don't think you won't get big tomatoes if you have a whole lot on here. This is really loaded down. But you can see the tomatoes are getting some size. I got these leaves out of here so these tomatoes got room to grow. That's really important. But one reason I wanted to make this video today was to talk about canning tomatoes. Now, tomatoes are an acid fruit, so you don't have to pressure can it. You can just water bath can it. But a lot of people make a mistake. They don't have a big enough pot when processing their tomatoes, and they might use their pot from their pressure cooker or something like that. Remember, tomatoes are acid fruit, or vegetable if you want it vegetable. I tend to think it's a vegetable, but I like to not argue with the others. But anyway, when you process those tomatoes in that aluminum, magnesium, whichever kind of pressure cooker you got, that acid is going to eat and put some of that heavy metals in your food. Sure that you have a stainless pot. Yes, big stainless pots aren't cheap, I know. I've got one fairly large one, and then I've got one 40 quart. And it was not cheap, but it's a one-time expense. It's definitely not cheap. The problems with your health when you end up having to deal with a problem because you've got heavy metal buildup and you're having issues with your health. But anyway, and we'll talk about tomato here particularly. Now, this is a true black brandy wine, is the variety. And if you notice, its leaf is different. You might not notice it right off, but you notice it's different. See how rounded the edges are? When you come to the others, which they are curling, but you see how these have sharp places on the edge of the leaves? This is what they call a potato leaf. There are some varieties of tomatoes that have potato leaves, and this is one of them, the brandy wines. And we're going to go up here and we're going to look at one more tomato while we're out here in the garden. Up this way, all the way to the top. Now, I have been picking cherry tomatoes off it. Well, we'll look at this tomato too. Now, this is a gold nugget. I tell people when you plant these, you don't need a lot of them. Now, you see how many tomatoes are on these plants? These plants are loaded down, and they grow limbs all over. I don't prune them. It doesn't make any sense to prune them. If I get some damage from ground contact or something like that, I'll cut that off. But these things are tomato producing machines. But we're going to go up here to these super sweet 100s, and when I say that, I use that lightly, because these are actually saved seeds I have been picking off of here. Look like this one off in there, but are loaded up. This one not so much as the other one. So what I do is like farmers do. I've taken and I've decided to save some seeds from this particular plant. When you have one that is really producing well, you got full truss of tomatoes that got pollinated and stuff. And I'm going to say it's because I've been shaking these and hand pollinating them. But that's what you want to save seeds from. You don't want to save one that just produces some because you got a tomato and you're going to save it. Take your best plant, not necessarily your biggest tomato, but your best plant. Whenever you're doing that, you want a seed that is real selective on there. Now, these tomatoes over here, these were some that were planted. Those were planted for a late crop. These ones were planted, and you can see after the freeze, these were what I had to start from seed once the freeze happened. And so they're quite a bit behind the others, but they're producing tomatoes. So they'll won't be long. A couple of months, they'll be just like these ones. But tomatoes grow pretty quick. You can grow them from seeds. If you're down south, you have plenty of time to start another tomato. Now, they say the heat will get it. It won't pollinate when it gets over a certain temperature, but I have my own thoughts on that. We take these, now it's hot out here, and they say after it gets above 85 or so, they don't pollinate. This is the way you hand pollinate them. But the thing is that when it's hotter and it's drier, I don't think that the pollen has enough moisture or doesn't build as much pollen, so it takes a little bit more to get one pollinated. I haven't had a problem about not having tomatoes form when it gets hot. These definitely need some water. See, they know it's hot. Their leaves are curling up towards the top. It's not drooping over like it's dry. It does have a good root system, but it is time to water them again. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video on tomatoes, and remember, do not process your tomatoes in any type of aluminum. A lot of our stuff, we have big stainless steel bowls, things like that. We go to these estate sales or garage sales. A lot of people get into the cannon or something, and then they get rid of it. Same thing with our pressure cookers. We do have a big American pressure cooker. Well, actually 2 of them, and we'd bought all of them used. You always have a opportunity. You just get out there and look. But anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you gave it a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy that gardening experience.